MyMac podcast 992. Might as well jump.
You're listening to the G-Men on the MyMac.com podcast.
And welcome everyone to the MyMac.com podcast. Now, as hard as it may be to believe, once upon a time, the rivalry was so embittered between Mac and Windows users that entire articles were written singing the praises of one or the other. Such foolishness is mostly behind us now, and people typically choose the OS based on what they need. Certain, preferences also are part of it, but just imagine that some people, mind you, may want to switch from one to the other. Obviously not going from Mac to Windows, since the Mac is most assuredly the better. What? Huh. Maybe that rivalry hasn't completely gone away. Hello, Gaz. How are you? How are you this week?
Well, I'm very well, and I may just have an issue which crept up on my Mac today, which was a bit odd and had me craving for a Windows laptop.
Bite your tongue, sir.
Bite my tongue. However, I did fix it. Most odd, and I was thinking this is the privacy issue that Sonoma is giving us, but
Yeah.
maybe
Thanks, Apple. We really love that new feature.
It turned out
Did something.
It turned out that it wasn't that, but I haven't really got to the bottom of it. However, I did have a fix, so I might as well just jump in. All right, lots of stuff. Not a great deal on my Mac, other than the issue with the SD card. So today I did some videoing. I took a 64 gigabyte SD card from the Panasonic camera, which I've got, which is a very old, actually it's a 4K, so it's not very old, but it is an older 4K SD card driven camera. And I took out the SD card, popped it in the SD tray that I've got on the little.
Oh, right. For that little accessory that we both have.
That's right. Yeah. The little dock, which is connected below the Mac Mini. Nothing happened. I have an SD card reader. So I popped the SD card in the SD card reader and popped it in various different USB ports, which are connected to the Mac and even directly to the Mac. Could I see anything? No, I could not. I then decided to connect the camera via USB link to any number of USB ports. Nada.
Wow.
Even the camera just said disconnect USB connection. It went through a rolling hourglass, the old sand hourglasses you get. It kept doing that and then said disconnect USB. And I thought, you are kidding me. And I do have, or did have, an old Windows laptop. And I thought, well, I'll just get it in there so to make sure that we've still got the videos. Although I knew the videos were on there because I could see them on the camera. And then I started doing a bit of searching, and there was lots of tricks, but all of the tricks that they were giving me were basic click on external disks in Finder and then go into disk utility and do something in disk utility. Somebody actually said, oh, go into disk utility and format the disk. I thought,
that'll sort it right out.
That'll sort it right out. I thought, The problem was I couldn't see it in disk utility. If I'd been able to see
it sounds like that was a good thing.
That was a good thing. I wouldn't have formatted it. Don't worry.
Okay.
I knew not to format the card. Anyway, I then saw a couple of posts that said, well, try restarting your Mac with the SD card in. And it was a bit of a last chance saloon try. So with the SD card in the slot in the dock, which sits below the Mac Mini, I did a restart it was about an hour ago now. Hey, voila.
Nice.
Finder then saw the SD card. So if you're having a problem with SD cards, folks, and it's not seeing it anywhere, just try restart with the card
Yeah.
in place and it might pop up. Now, I don't know whether it'll pop up again if I take it out and pop it back in. I've copied the files that I needed over, so that's good. But wow, it was a bit, ooh.
Yeah, I wonder
Um,
if you tried Handbrake, if that would have worked.
well, it wouldn't have done because it couldn't see the card.
No, that's true. Okay.
It
Yeah.
couldn't see the card. So obviously I went out riding again this week, but with the autumnal change in the weather, I've now sorted out my trainer because I've got a bike trainer, indoor trainer, and I've been on that. I've dusted it off and gave that
I'm
a
glad you
quick.
said that. I did not know what a trainer was until you
Yeah,
said that.
it's like one of these smart trainers that you get. You know, you put your bike onto it, and then it'll give you different, like you're going uphill and different tensions on your gears, so you actually feel like you're out on the road, although
Right.
you don't really feel like you're out on the road because you're
No.
not moving. I spoke to the doctors about that heart thing that I mentioned last week, and as a precaution, I'm having an ECG and blood test
Good.
next week.
Excellent.
And I was told, make sure that you don't get stressed. And I didn't want to say to them, I'm probably the most chilled out I've been for the whole of my life, to be
Except for
perfectly
like a
honest with you.
2-hour block on the weekends where
Yeah,
your blood
yeah.
pressure and everything just goes like
Yeah.
through the roof. I'm not sure how that happens.
How about you? What have you been doing this week?
Well, you remember last week, my wife and I took that trip to Williamsburg.
Oh, yes.
And
Is that the one where you pay lots of money to see old buildings?
yeah. No, you pay lots of money to go into old
The old
buildings. You can
buildings,
see them
right.
for free.
Right. Yes,
You can,
that's
it's,
true.
if,
You
but
did
if you
say
want to
that.
go inside, you have to pay money.
Yep.
Anyway, also my son Peter and daughter-in-law / real daughter, because I'm like so awesome as a father-in-law, Liza, were able to go with us, which made it that much better because after eating a huge meal at the end of the evening, he drove from Williamsburg to his house, which is like the biggest part of the drive. Because I was like sleeping.
You doing old man stuff.
I was. There's lots of house projects still going on, which is draining our bank accounts. And I just got a notification from Microsoft concerning our old call-in number via Skype. Do you remember what it was?
Oh, yeah. No, I can't remember what it was.
I do. 703-436.
9501.
Exactly. By the way, everyone, don't call that number.
Yeah.
Do not call that, because it will basically sound like this. Boop, boop, boop. We're sorry. That number is no longer in service. So don't call that number. We have a different number to call, which we'll tell you about later as things get rotated around here in the old MyMac.com podcast.
Okay, but saying about that,
Yeah.
you know that when I play that
Yes.
MyMac
And it goes down
number,
in volume.
but it doesn't go down in volume when you
For
put it
you.
out on the podcast. Because I listened specifically
Really?
last week for that, and you said, "Oh, there, it's dropping down in volume," and the volume on the podcast seemed to me to be the same all the way through.
Huh. Okay. Well, it was certainly going down in volume as I was listening to it, and it does it at the same part every single time. And
It's crazy, isn't it?
I have no idea. Either that or I'm having
Well, it
like
sounded
an aneurysm as soon as that song comes on.
possibly, but it sounded fine
Yeah.
to me. So don't worry about it this week if I play it.
Okay. Well, actually, I have a shorter version of it.
Don't play it now, though, will
Hold
you?
on.
Oh, it's gone down in volume. I can't hear it.
That's it. That's all I got right there. Just right after Tech Heaven,
Aw.
it's like, "Gah."
Tech heaven.
Yeah, that's all we
Believe
get.
it.
It's just Tech Heaven. What else? Oh, that Skype number was costing me about $40 a year to keep it.
Wow.
I mean, it's not even that it's that much money.
Well, no, but
we're getting
so-
like zero use out of it.
correct.
So I canceled it.
Well done.
And the Google Voice number that we currently have is certainly not as fully featured without spending money. but for what we use it for,
Perfect.
it's fine. 0 cost. Yep.
Okay. So are you finished? You're not going to tell us that you're still on the same mic?
I am still on the same my beautiful Lewitt 440 Pure connected up to my Rodecaster Duo.
Do you know, so if this keeps up soon, you won't have to mention the mic at all.
I know it'll be like everyone goes, "Oh, I know what mic he's on." Actually,
Yeah.
the mic I want to get is the one that Dave Hamilton uses for
No, you
the
don't. No, you don't.
Mac Geek app.
No, you
No,
don't.
that's a beautiful mic.
No,
Oh
you
my
don't.
God, that thing
No,
is so
no,
smooth.
No, you
But
don't.
it's 700
don't.
flipping dollars.
No, you
So,
don't. No, you
well,
do not.
you say I don't.
No, because
But
we're
I
going
do.
straight into Gaz's snippets. Get away from that mic.
Yeah. Who brought it up?
Malarkey.
I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
It's in the show notes.
Okay.
And you know what we like with the show notes?
Yeah, if it's in the show notes, got to mention it.
Well, I think we mentioned last week that Apple were cancelling the autonomous driving permit. Well, they've done it officially now, apparently. Interestingly, though, they've done it just as Tesla has unveiled a cyber cab. Now, what did I say? It must have been 10 years ago now that actually it's a service, and a cyber cab would be exactly that. So Apple, they just couldn't do it. Well, Tesla have taken the floor with it, maybe. We shall see.
Ugliest freaking vehicle.
I'm sure
it only
it
holds
is.
2 people.
I have not
It's
seen
huge.
I have not yet seen a nice looking Tesla. Some people like them.
Honestly, no, I'm not talking about. I mean, the regular Tesla cars. I think that other than the Cybertruck,
I do not.
Cybertruck is an
I
abomination.
don't like any of them. I don't like any of them.
I like them. I think they look great, but
I think they look awful.
The Cybertruck and
the
cab.
The Cybertruck takes it up another notch.
Oh, yeah, that's like, let's take the very worst parts of a truck, of a pickup truck, and jam them together into one vehicle. Hello, Cybertruck.
Apple study has revealed critical flaws, not just one, in AI's logical reasoning abilities. Apple's AI research team has uncovered significant weaknesses in the reasoning abilities of large language models. Now, can I just say to people, we have gone on about this time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. It is not yet even close to AI. It is at best machine learning.
Yes.
Mostly large language models, which are using all of that information to give you what you think is AI.
What it thinks you want to hear.
Yes, not what you think is AI, what is being sold as AI. So
it's nonsense.
Anyway, I'm sure we'll get some input on that. You can now subscribe, as we did mention this before, but you can now subscribe to Apple TV Plus inside of Amazon Prime Video. Looks like it's all gone ahead.
Okay, good.
I think I've got a follow-up to this later, but I'm just going to read this out. Okay. I might just see if you react. This is actually from Apple themselves. Apple introduces powerful new iPad mini built for Apple Intelligence. Apple stock hits new all-time intraday high. So on Tuesday, it rose $3.90 to a new time high of $237.49. Wow. It beat the previous one by 26 cents. So previously it was $237.23. There you go. Yay! Slow Horses land season 6 renewal on Apple TV Plus. You haven't even watched.
Wait a minute. They're just rolling out season 5, right?
They've just finished 4. They're going on to their 5 is being filmed, and now it looks like they've got a renewal for 6.
Oh, okay. Well, good. And I'm still on season 1.
Come on, guy.
The problem is my wife keeps wanting to watch the baking show that you guys have over there.
Oh, dear.
And
Great
when
British
there's not
Bake
a
Off.
new episode, she's watching older. And it's like, can we watch? I just want to watch some new stuff. And
Yeah.
getting my wife to watch
This
something
isn't
new is
this
like
isn't
pulling teeth.
quite this isn't quite the same as that, I've got to admit. The new Apple Card promo offers 6% cash back at Walgreens for a limited time. Thought you'd be pleased with that.
Yeah, good old. I get stuff at Walgreens all the time.
Here's the follow-up.
Yeah.
Here's the follow-up to my iPad mini announcement from Apple. The new iPad mini 7 is a surprisingly small update. It feels like Apple did pretty much the minimum necessary here, which includes using the oldest possible processor capable of running Apple Intelligence.
Yep.
So we go from Apple introduces powerful new iPad mini, as says Apple, to maybe not so much.
Maybe it's not all that great after all. But honestly, a machine like this, the iPad mini, it's a consumption machine. It's what you take with you in the park while your kids are playing or on a plane or whatever to watch movies and stuff like that. You're not writing the next Shakespearean play or anything like that, or editing video or blah blah blah,
No,
whatever it is
I've
that
got to
people do.
say, nobody is writing the next Shakespearean play because he's dead and he's the one
Well,
that can
well,
write
see,
them.
somebody has to write it, Gaz. Come on. If he's not going
TCMC,
to do it,
no one's going to do it.
exactly.
TCMC is making Apple chips in Phoenix, Arizona. That's it. I'm not going any further with that. Apple expands tools to help businesses connect with customers.
Okay. As compared to what?
They're
Apple
doing.
takes a big hammer
I
and
read.
slams businesses that talk
I
to
read
their
a.
customers.
Well, I did read a few headlines about this, and
Yeah,
basically, they're just helping businesses with more tools so that they can, when they've got call-ins and just connecting with the customers in
sure,
general. So,
sure.
Apple's chief people officer leaves the company after. Right, I'm going to give you. It's months. How many months, Guy?
Wasn't it like 21 months?
20. You're quite
20.
close.
I was pretty close.
I'll give you a point for that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Are we playing the game? Have you, with the Apple iPad Mini coming out, have you gained
This
any
would
extra
count.
points?
That would count.
Ah, cool. Apple reportedly worked with China's BYD on batteries for its car project. Who cares? They've just cancelled it. I had to say that. Just made me laugh. Now, I was complaining about this last week, but iPhone roadside assistance, well, not specifically this, but it's kind of getting to what we were talking about. iPhone roadside assistance via satellite feature is now available in the UK.
Oh, nice. Good.
Woohoo.
Except is there any place in the UK that's like not covered?
Yeah, there are a few places. Yeah, there are a
Okay.
few places.
And
Yeah.
I'm not having a go. I'm just
No,
saying.
I know you're not. It's only a small country. We're like
Yeah.
the size of one of your counties. I mean, I get that. I get that. Right. I get it.
I grew up in the UK. It's about the size of Broward County. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it.
More Apple Pay installment options and a PayPal balance will be visible in Apple Wallet. That actually caused me a bit of an issue. Not that specific issue, but when they were bringing the balance in
Yeah.
well, I'm not sure why, but initially when it came in, the balance was there when I was bringing up the card on my phone to pay for something. Well, when you do that, everybody could see your phone. So then they could see your balance. Oh, that's not very good. Now that doesn't happen anymore. And so I think they suddenly realized, we're going to put this option in something for
we
you to
shouldn't.
choose. Anyway, I'll pay with my watch now anyway. So I don't even know how much money I've got.
Yes, you're like, Tim, wait, hold on. I don't have my contact spectacles in so that I can read the text on my phone. Or even worse, on your ring. Your Apple
Apparently,
ring.
But yeah, let's not go there. No, we had both that appearing and not appearing last week, so
Yeah.
let's leave that there. Apparently, Trump claims that Tim Cook called him about EU fining Apple 17 billion. Tim Cook's job as CEO covers a number of roles and responsibilities. One of them involves maintaining relationships with political powers. And according to Donald Trump, he
Mm.
and Cook recently had a conversation about the EU's recent rulings against Apple. Okay,
Yeah, and it was
great.
wait, hold on. It was for 17 million?
Billion.
Oh, billion. Oh, the whole Irish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what's he gonna do about it? He's not gonna do ooh, I almost said a bad word there.
No, no, no,
He's
no,
not
no,
going to
no.
do
I'm just
anything,
he's having
anything about it.
Apple Pay now works with third-party iOS and desktop browsers. I got a feeling we may have mentioned that, but I
Yeah,
wasn't
last week
sure.
you talked about
So I
that.
put it in. Okay, cool. New law proves Apple's App Store gets one thing very right. Apple's App Store practices have been under widespread assault in recent years, both in the US and especially abroad. But a new US law has just validated at least one aspect of Apple's approach with the App Store. It's easy subscription management. I agree.
Yes.
Absolutely agree. Apple Pay chief, do you know, I'm going to have to go back to a story because we never really finished it. I don't think.
Which one?
Um, I'm. It's now got. I'll see if it appears at the top end, but maybe I read it. Maybe I read it in my head, and
Okay.
I
Oh,
thought I'd read it
that
here.
story that you read in your head. Got it. Okay.
Yes, yes. Apple Pay chief suggests digital car keys could expand to rentals. Well done. Apple TV Plus to offer behind
Wait,
the scenes.
hold on. Actually, for rental cars, yes, I can see that.
You like that, do you?
That's
It
fine.
makes
But
makes
for my
total
own
sense,
car,
doesn't it?
no.
No. Sorry, Steve. What do you think?
No.
No.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
Steve knows.
Yeah, no. Apple
Exactly.
TV
Steve knows.
knows. Apple
So
TV
clever.
Plus. Will you let me
Yes.
finish? Apple TV Plus to offer behind the scenes coverage of the 2024 World Series. Yippee doo. Yippee doo dah. iPhone 16 users complain about excessive iOS 18 battery drain. Actually, I've got a complaint about my Apple Watch. It is using more battery overnight since the latest update.
Really?
I've had a couple of occasions now. I could get away previously. Am I boring you?
No,
I
no, I did not sleep well last night. Go ahead.
I've been sleeping fine, and my Apple Watch has been telling me fine. However, I've had a couple of occasions where I've had to charge it twice during the day. Now,
Really?
normally I can get away with a full charge in the morning, and it generally goes through until the next morning. But recently, it's just died on me. And actually, last Sunday, after we'd recorded, we did some stuff out and about, and it gave me nothing. I had nothing on my rings. There was 0, 0, 0. And for some reason, it was playing up all over the place. So I think the latest update may have had a
Mhm.
few bugs in it.
Well,
Anyway,
I think I've told you this. I actually have 2 watches.
you have, yes,
There's
go
an
on.
older one that's like a Series 5, I think, that I wear at night for all the sleep stuff, and then my Series 7, I think it's a Series 7 that I wear every day, and battery on a 7, not so much on the 5, but on the 7 usually lasts like a day and a half to 2 days.
Cool. Developers are now required to provide the public address and phone number for EU App Store. We mentioned this previously. That is now in act, apparently. Now, Belfast Apple Store opened earlier this week on the island of Ireland. Yes, folks, Belfast is in Ireland. I really couldn't get my head around this headline. Why doesn't it just say Belfast Apple Store open today in Ireland?
Yeah.
I know it's in Northern Ireland, but they had to say on the island of Ireland. I just
Over because I'm listening through these, it sounded like you were saying on the island of Island. And it was like, what?
Island. Well,
What?
island. Yes, it's an island in the Pacific, or it's island in the Atlantic.
So there's not an island of Island?
Island is an island.
But is there an iron? You know what?
Iron.
No, I'm stopping right there. No, go ahead. Continue, please.
Oh,
Stopping myself.
I'm sure I'm going to be corrected on that last one. All smartphones will have to be compatible with all Bluetooth hearing aids. All smartphones, all Bluetooth hearing aids.
Yeah.
Yippee do.
How's that going to work?
No idea. TSMC may have breached the US sanctions. The Apple chip production could be at risk. The US Commerce Department is carrying out an investigation into whether Apple chipmaker TSMC breached the US sanctions against China by supplying smartphone and AI chips to Huawei.
What would China do without Taiwan to get mad at all the time?
Oh, they'd get mad about the South China Sea. That's what they'd get mad
Oh,
about.
yeah. So they can go ahead and go up against Japan and the
And
Philippines
Philippines.
and
Yeah.
Vietnam and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
those other
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. Half of Americans have forgotten to cancel a trial subscription. Do you know, okay, maybe half of Americans. It's not half Americans. Total balderdash.
What is it? The upper halves or lower halves?
It's the lower halves. Of
Yeah, that would actually make more
course.
sense. Well, I didn't want to watch this, but my lower half, got to do what it says. Or
I think a lot
sorry.
of people have done this. Do you know what I do? Here's a quick. I'm just going to do it. Let me see if I can do it. Can I do it? Am I going to be able to do it or not? Let's just see. Hit it. Right. Don't hit it. This is a quick Gaz's tip. Put it in your calendar. You've got a subscription and you know it ends at a certain point, or you know it's going to renew at a certain point. If you're not good at doing it, just put it in your calendar.
Yeah,
It will remind you.
it's like an appointment.
It's great. It's
It
great.
gives
It's
you
what
a
I do all the
warning
time.
2 to 4 hours before it's going to
I had a
happen.
I had a week of Prime this week, just a week. I reminded myself, cancel it. And even actually, very often, what you can do with a lot of these subscriptions is cancel them almost immediately after you've used it, because
Yeah.
they then don't cancel it until the subscription period ends anyway. So that's the end. Hang on a minute. Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. There you go. There you go. I'm not playing it all because it's just quick. That was just a quick tip. That was just a quick tip.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. I must have read it at the start and thought I'd read it at the end, but I'm reading
your
it at
mind.
the end because I didn't read it at the start. I know what I'm talking about. Apple's VP of Talent and Recruiting Department in yet another executive shakeup. It's another day, and there's another report of a departure among high-ranking Apple leadership.
He's a going.
Today, it's Apple's VP of Talent and Recruiting head, Goering. Stuart Goering. Now, I don't know how to say that name, as you can tell.
Ever. He's gone.
Apparently,
He's totally gone.
It could be a she. I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah,
they're
sure.
leaving. They're
Don't
leaving.
assume pronouns, guys.
Will you let me finish?
Yes.
They're leaving for a new role at Citadel. All right, cool.
Have fun. Didn't you say that was like the Apple's people person or something like that?
Well, that's
You
what I
started
was
to say that, and I think I interrupted you.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about, and that's why I was looking for that particular story. I couldn't find it.
This kind of stuff
Anyway.
just gives you a headache, doesn't it?
Yeah, 20 months. I gave you a point for it, didn't I?
Yes.
That was the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So well done. Anyway, that chaotic piece of Gazzy Snippets is the end. I've just had 6 more come in, actually. Let me see. Is there anything there? No. Any more snippets to just cover off quickly? No, it's done.
Okay.
Definitely.
Excellent.
Now, you know what comes next, don't you?
Tell me.
Well, bumpers.
Oh, I thought we were doing that after. Okay. No, I'm ready.
Well, I
I'm
don't know.
actually ready.
Are we doing it after? I'm not sure. I
No,
mean, because
let's do it right now because
okay,
we need something to break up the seriousness of Gaz's tips and the seriousness of the center section.
Gazzy snippets.
Isn't that what I said?
No, you said tips.
Oh, well, if in some cultures tips are snippets. Anyway, what do you got? What do you got this week, Gaz?
More bugs than an iOS update. The G-Men on the MyMac podcast.
Wait. Hold on. What did he say?
More bugs than an iOS update. The G-Men on the MyMac podcast.
Okay, I got it. I have reached deep, and I found a folder, Gaz,
Right.
that has bumpers that we recorded in 2010.
Good. That's 14 years ago.
I know. And here is one. You may recognize this voice. Hold on.
We love our listeners, and the police would very much like to talk to us about it. The G-Men on the MyMac.com podcast.
Now, people, we actually instead of having a center section, we would actually have like all of these bumpers that we'd either written or had gotten from listeners, and we would use the entire time of the center section recording them. And I think that was one of those. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if you wrote it or I wrote it
I don't remember.
or somebody else wrote it, but it's a good one. And I got one more.
Every podcast brings me joy. Some of them do it when I download them. Some of them do it when I delete them. They're the G-Men on the MyMac program.
Oh, thank you, Greg. That was from Greg from NC. So do you have another one, or is that it?
No. Let's just
Okay, let's move on.
Let's not kill everybody with them.
Oh, there's so many good ones. There are,
Yes.
especially I had forgotten so many of these as I was listening to them, and
They're the
some of
best
them were
ones.
so funny.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about people interested in potentially switching to a Mac from Windows. Now, there are some key differences and considerations. Mac OS runs exclusively on Apple's Macs, while Windows runs on a variety of PCs. Now, this limits hardware choice, but offers a more controlled environment. Design and experience. Macs prioritize.
Can I jump
Of
in?
course, you can jump in at any time.
While Windows runs on a variety of PCs, including Macs.
Or used to. Not so much
Well,
anymore.
A lot of people still have the older Intel Macs.
That's true. That's true. If you have an Intel Mac, you can easily run Windows. And you sort of can as well with the M series Macs.
Not so
but
easy.
it requires help. It requires a lot of help. Macs prioritize simplicity and user friendliness, while Windows allows for more customization. And that's sort of true, sort of not true. I think that the Mac OS over the last 2 or 3 major releases has becoming more complex and less user friendly. And Tim really needs to buckle down and work on that. And I get why, because a lot of it is based on security and privacy issues. I understand that. But at the same time, I kind of miss how easy it used to be. Speaking of which, Macs are generally considered more secure due to the lower prevalence of viruses and malware, which there's a variety of reasons for that, and we're not going to go into that, but it's generally true. Cost. Macs have a higher upfront cost as compared to most Windows PCs, especially in the budget and mid-range categories. However, prices become very much comparable when considering higher end models on the PC side. The difference stems from manufacturing costs, design, and ecosystem integration.
However, actually, your long-term or end-to-end birth to death
Yes.
cost of a Mac is different to an equivalent non-Mac PC.
Yeah, a lot
because
of times it can be lower.
a
'Cause
lot
you just
lower.
keep it. You just keep
Yeah.
it longer.
Well, not only that, they're generally more sought after, and you can often sell them for a reasonable price as well,
Yeah,
secondhand.
that's
So,
true also. Reasons to switch: quality and durability. Apple products are generally known for their robust build and longevity, potentially leading to lower long-term
oh,
costs, which we were just
I'm
talking about.
sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't see that.
No, no,
Slap
no,
my
that's fine. That's
slap
fine.
my wrist. I shouldn't have said a thing. Thank you.
Ow! Except I hurt myself. Seamless
Weirdo.
integration. Macs usually offer a seamless experience within the Apple ecosystem, including iPhones, iPads, and Apple services. Usually, performance. Macs typically offer powerful hardware and optimized software, contributing to their speed and responsiveness, especially since the M series chips came out. Macs are favored by not all, but many creatives, such as designers and photographers, due to industry standard tools and a focus on visual excellence. Now, but on that note, Guy Jr., who has secured a position with a company that does a lot of college videos, um,
Mm.
and I'm not talking about Girls Gone Wild or anything like that. I mean, videos meant to entice people to come to a particular college, which may or may not include Girls Gone Wild. But that's not what we're talking about here. But he has pretty much a full PC experience with that, and a lot of it is, and I shudder when he told me, Adobe software. And it's like, okay, and of course, growing up in this house, pretty much Macs were all that he was using. And for
Yeah.
some reason, both my boys, because they have both, Peter is kind of half and half with between Windows and Windows and a Mac, and Guy is pretty much all PC at this point. They were like so hesitant to tell me, like, well, Dad, I bought a PC. And it's like, I don't care. Why would I care? Get out of my house. That's what I said. It's fine. Notable Mac OS features included being known for stability and ease of use, usually. Retina
Usually.
display for high resolution visual. That's very true. I have only met one person that bought the studio display.
Mm.
Oh my God. When we pulled it out and first plugged it into her Mac Mini, she had the same Mac Mini as you and I have. And I saw that screen. I was smiling, but on the inside, I was like, I hate you. I want this monitor. Face ID for biometric authentication, and
Yeah.
AirDrop for wireless file sharing, which works unbelievably great. Some of the
It
drawbacks
does.
include. Go ahead.
No, it does. It works really great.
Yeah, that's what
and
we actually used to get from her old computer, an iMac, to her new computer, that Mac Mini, was all AirDrop. It's unbelievable. Some of the drawbacks: higher price, as previously mentioned. They come with a higher initial cost as compared to many Windows computers. It's a closed system, more or less, so Macs offer limited customization and upgradability. Actually, there's almost no upgradability at this point, compared to Windows, which might be restrictive for some users. Compatibility: fewer software options exist for Macs, and some Windows programs might not even have Mac versions. But generally speaking, the major developers also make Mac versions, which wasn't always the case.
correct.
When you're making the switch, be prepared for an adjustment period to adapt to the Mac OS and its interface. Ensure essential software used on your Windows PC is available for the Mac, or find suitable alternatives. Use Apple's
Which
migration.
can I
Yeah,
say
please go ahead.
which generally there are.
Yeah,
If there's not a direct alternative, there's very often a really good alternative, which may even be better in some cases.
yeah. I actually, I'm going to give this early. It's a pick, but
Oh,
it just came up right now as we were talking about this. There's a website called Alternative To that not only will let you find software that will work for both Mac and PCs, but it'll also, if you have a piece of Mac software that either isn't around anymore or you want something different, it's a great resource to go and find different kinds of software for that same thing.
cool.
Adapting to the Mac OS, familiarize yourself with Mac specific keyboard shortcuts. Some additional considerations. Microsoft Office is available for the Mac, but some functional differences exist as compared to the Windows version. And there are also some alternatives like iWork and Google Docs. And I think it was probably last year we talked about some Microsoft Office alternatives. There's a ton of them out there. If you basically just Google, Office alternatives Mac, you will get back a ton of different kinds of Office suites that you can use that all have.
But and Mac does come with free Office suite.
Yeah, iWork.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's not.
Pages.
It's yeah. They don't refer to it as iWork anymore, but
Well, that's true.
yeah.
That's true.
But it is Pages, Numbers, and
Keynote.
actually, Keynote is deemed to be
Oh,
far
Keynote is.
superior to
Oh,
PowerPoint, which
Keynote
I
is so
didn't know about.
good. You could actually use, and I have in a pinch, you can use Keynote as a alternative video editor. It's and do some really crazy and amazing things. So deciding whether to switch from Windows to a Mac depends on your individual needs and priorities. Macs offer advantages in quality, design, it's questionable, integration, and performance, but come at a higher price with some compatibility limitations. And remember, it's crucial to consider the learning curve, software compatibility, and your budget. Researching and understanding the nuances of the OS can ensure a smooth transition and a positive user experience. Would you agree with that, Gaz? Or most of it?
I'd just like to say before I agree with you
Yeah.
that Preview being a PDF product which can read and actually adjust PDFs
Yeah.
is massive, because you just don't have that in Windows, and that was always a source of consternation for me on my Windows machine. And I came over to the Mac and thought, hang on a minute, I can deal with PDFs. Hurrah!
For free. And not only that, but the ability to look at almost any file just by hitting the space bar
Oh yeah,
is
so cool.
every time, because of course at work I have a Windows PC, and there'll be times it's like, oh, what's that file? And I'll hit the space bar and the name of the file will disappear. And it's like, oh wait, no, that's right. I'm on a Windows PC. I can't do that. So yeah, that's something that I really, really wish was also on Windows, just to make my life easier when
So, in response to your researching and understanding the nuances of a Mac OS to ensure a smooth transition and a positive experience, I definitely agree with that.
oh, I see so much head nodding.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
Have you ever got deep into a menu on your iOS device and you want to go back, but you also want to understand where you are in that menu sequence? Well, you usually hit the back button on the top left of the iOS device, and it takes you back to the next screen and the next screen and the next screen. Well, how about pressing and holding the button and you see a list of the previous menus that you've gone through? And if you keep your finger on the screen and slide it away from that menu on the screen, you'll actually see it stay on the screen. So if you've got a lot of menus that you've gone through and you want to see what the name of each of those separate menus were, it'll actually stay on screen, and then you can actually easily see the list and pick the sub menu that you might want to go back to, and it'll take you right there. And it should work with any app that uses the back button, and especially if one with lots of menus appears.
Oh, that's my cue, everyone.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
Okay, there we go. And if you look at the next little part there in the show notes there, Gaz, what does that say?
It says, play those funky bumpers.
So I got to move that up higher, because you're right. That is a much better place. That's a much better place to have it. Play those funky bump. Never mind. That's such a good song too. Average White Band, play that funky music. If you never
You
heard
see,
it before.
for
It's a
anybody
great
new here, right? Yes, I think you probably already knew, didn't you? Play those funky boogies. I'm gonna completely screw up with Guy now.
Yeah,
Everybody knew the tune, everybody knew the song. But the thing is, if you're new here, Guy has a little bit of CDO.
A little bit.
Normally known as OCD, but he likes to put the letters in the right order.
Yeah,
Right?
it has to be in the right
and
order.
if he's
man.
got something on it, he has to tell you everything. So just get used to it, folks. It's
Also,
not a
the
bad
story, the story behind it.
yeah, it's not a bad thing. It does make the podcast a little longer at times, but hey, that's not a problem. I'm
There's
here
almost
for it.
always a giggle in it.
It's like therapy for Guy.
Oh
We
God,
like that, yeah.
yes. And I've been in therapy now for 14 years. 14 years with
So
the
do you
same
have-
therapist.
Do you have a pick sake? Yeah, I'm the bloody therapist as well.
Yeah,
Do you have a for pick's sake, Guy?
I just said it. I said it a little while ago.
I thought you was going to say it again.
Get Handbrake. That's a great program.
Okay,
There we go.
I don't have one. Move on.
All right. We do have some feedback this week.
Did you get the
actually
feedback
just
that
one.
did you get the feedback that I sent you via email? Don't say you
Oh,
didn't. Don't say
I
you didn't.
did, but I forgot to pull them out. So do you have them?
Yes, but I don't have them pulled out because I sent them to you because I thought you'd do it.
Well, there you go.
Have you got any others?
Yeah, I got Mr. Cheesed Off.
Well, let me see if I can save attachment. Save attachment to downloads folder. There we go. Bingo. Save. Let's see if I can do the same again. Save. Talk about on the fly. Save attachments to downloads folder. On the fly. Let me go to my if I can find it, clips from listeners, and then I'm going to go to my downloads folders. This is so smooth, isn't it?
It
So
is.
smooth. And I'm going to drag. Oh, we're not there. Where are they? What?
Was that on October
What?
15th? I've got
What?
them. I just
You
I
you
have them
blighter.
downloaded.
Can you play them then? Because
Yeah, I got to pull them in. All I have to do is put them into, that program. All right, I got them here. Here we go.
I have your request for support. If you send me an address, I can send you my grandfather's trust. My Mike podcast show with Guy and Gaz.
See, I have to play it again because I don't always. I like Jim. Jim is a great guy, but I don't always understand what it is he says. Not your fault, Jim. It's not you. It's me. Okay, one more time.
I have your request for support. If you send me an address, I can send you my grandfather's trust. My Mike podcast show with Guy and Gaz.
Yeah, I don't want your grandfather's trust. I really, really don't. All right, here's another one.
Stop the presses. Stop the presses. Guys refuse to buy a bargain microphone. My Mike podcast show with Guy and Gaz.
Yes, it's true. It
I
is
should have
very
played that,
true.
shouldn't I? I should have played that.
Stop the presses. It is not something that you hear very often.
It is not.
But I had excellent, and you know what? You get me going down this rat hole, I'll have to tell the story all over again.
You see? Which we don't need. So
Which
move
we
on.
don't need.
Have we got for the ntth week in a row or show in a row a Mr. Cheesed Off?
This is the 23rd week in a row
Wow.
that Mr. Cheesed Off has sent us some feedback. And it's not a complaint. We are digging the Cheesed Off.
No. Absolutely not.
And there's a little something for you in this one too, Gaz. So
Is
here
there?
we go. There is.
Hello, Guy Gaz, Mr. Cheesed Off here. You know, I've been waiting all year for Apple to release a brand new iPad mini. I had visions. An all-new design, something futuristic, sleek, maybe even something that finally made me look cool in a coffee shop. What do we get? The same old brick with a couple of tweaks. It's like waiting for a Ferrari and getting a Ford Fiesta with a fresh coat of paint. They kept the same chunky bezels, big enough to land a plane on. I'm sitting here staring at it thinking, am I looking at a cutting-edge tech or a digital picture frame from the early 2000s? And then we're getting started on the updates. Oh, sure, I fast the chip, a few extra pixels here and there, but the thing still looks like it's been dragged out of the attic, dusted off, and sold as new. Who's Apple trying to fool here? Honestly, I was ready for my money of them. I was expecting something revolutionary, something that would make me go, wow. But instead, I'm going, wow, for all the wrong reasons. It's like they've reheated last night's takeaway, thrown a bit of garnish on it, and called it a 5-star meal. They're not serving innovation. They're serving bloody deja vu on a plate. Oh, I don't know. It all really cheeses me off. Oh, wait. You know what? I forgot. What's this at the end of the last episode? You tried to do an impersonation of me? How dare you, sir? And then the gall to try a British accent on top. Talk about insult to injury. I don't know. It all really cheeses me off.
He's not happy.
He got a double it cheeses me off in there, didn't he?
He did.
He did.
Yeah, I don't quite get it. I don't know what he's so upset about. It just doesn't make any sense, Gaz.
It doesn't.
Yeah, right, you bloody blighter. So, here we go.
Oh, he's gone, folks. He's gone. He's lost it.
Hold on.
Okay, there we go. We're back. Oh, thank you, Mr. Cheesed Off. I'm probably going to hear actually, and I messed that up. It wasn't him giving you a hard time. It was him giving me a hard time. But it was your fault. Actually, no, I'll take that back. I'll take that back. He's actually mad at you because you asked me to imitate him in the after show stuff last week.
I did.
Just to show people that it wasn't me doing Mr. Cheesed Off.
Correct.
Okay. Oh boy, it took us a little while to get there. Before we go into
take me that
else,
long. Didn't take me that long.
No, I've got to work it. I have to work it through all the way through, guys. We are very quickly coming up on show 1000. We are 8 episodes away. Now, this is a major milestone, and what we would like you to do is give us some new bumpers. We've done this a bunch of times in the past, but we're doing it again. And there's just a few very minor rules concerning the bumpers. You can say whatever you want about us. Obviously, if you have listened to past bumpers, you know we don't hold, when people insult us through these bumpers, we don't censor them or hold them back. It's like, oh, he said something mean about me, I'm not going to play that one. No, we revel in it. We wallow in the mud with the insults. Now, please keep it between 5 to 10 seconds. And I know that's a hard out because people are like, man, I can go for hours.
Well, that if they can, that's a lot of bumpers that they can produce.
So many, so very, very many. And this is mostly directed at Marcus. If you must use naughty words, fine, but they will be beeped. Marcus. No, it's not just at Marcus. If you want to use naughty words, cool, but you're not going to hear them back that way. And at the end of all this, we will do a random drawing, and the winner will get a $50 Amazon gift card. And the reason why I went with that is to make it easier for giving a prize out internationally, because trying to do cash to Yugoslavia or wherever the winning bumper may come from, it's not easy. But Amazon is like everywhere.
Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it does. It's just in pieces. Yeah, I guess there wouldn't be a Yugoslavian Amazon store. Okay. Well, anyone who identifies as still living in Yugoslavia, sorry, we can't send you anything. Now, show 998, which is 6 episodes away, is probably going to be the cutoff for entry, but you can certainly insult us whenever you want to. We're yeah. Just because the contest might not be running anymore, bring it on. We don't care. We're actually very happy with that. Now, Gaz,
Yes.
if people wanted to contact you and say, why did Guy give us a 5 to 10 second cutoff? How would they do so?
Ever so easy, Guy. They can send an email to gaz@mymac.com. That's GAZ at mymac.com. You can also contact me on, well, there's lots of socials, including Mastodon, including Threads, including Instagram, including, well, it's just lots. Strava, if you're on Strava, you can contact me. And my name in most of those is Gazmaz, GAZMAZ. If you find that, hang on a minute, what's just going on here? If you find that you can't get to me on Mastodon, it's probably because I'm at gazmaz@c.im. You can also contact both Guy and myself on the X's by tweeting at us. See what I did there? It's x/Guy and Gaz, GYANDGAZ.
Cars.
You can also send feedback to the email address of feedback@mymac.com. That's FWDBACK at mymac.com.
His name was Guy.
I just go blah, 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 blah. Ooh. Did I just hear what I just heard?
I don't know whether you heard.
Wait, hold on. I screwed up.
Yes.
Guy says.
Do we know it was a guy?
Guy was paid at 75 grand.
I like to go with Guy.
Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain. He's the guy.
Guy.
Guy's the one. You remember Guy?
No fooling.
If you want
An email from Guy.
how would they do it?
It's so easy. Open the email client of your choice on any platform. That you please. And then you would address that email to at mymac.com. Threw me off.
Yeah.
You can also reach
Threw
me
myself off.
over there on the X Twitters. I am both Mac Pettit and Vert Shark. Over there, over on Instagram and Threads, I am Vert Shark. However, over on Counter Social and Mastodon.social, I am Mac Pettit. And Gaz, I'm reasonably sure that we have a telephone number that isn't Skype that's been canceled. Hello? You want me to play it?
No, I'll play it.
Call 703-284-677 for the MyMac podcast with Guy and Gaz. It's Tech Heaven. That's
Here it goes.
703-284-677. Get in touch now. Your call is our Tech Drip 11. 703-828-4677.
Okay. I see what's going on here. I'm looking at the waveform in Hindenburg, which is the audio program that I use to record the show. Volume is going down, but I'd forgotten that I have a leveler and a compressor on the output that I record, which would explain when it goes down in volume, the leveler says, oh, wait, that needs to come back up. And brings it up. Okay. That number, of course, which Gaz just played, is 703-828-4677. If you're outside the U.S., make sure that you dial a 1, then the country code, and you most likely will incur charges if you dial it directly. So just record something and send it to all the various things that we just talked about. If you'd like to help support the show, and I'm very proud of myself, by the way, Gaz, and I will tell you in the after show why. I'm not going to do it here, which
Okay.
is also a first.
It
All right.
is.
If you'd like to help support the show and continue the therapy that is my life, you can do so by going to Patreon, patreon.com/McBennett. You can also send me a coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. And you can pay a pal at paypal.me/MacParrot. Now, it's a sad part of the show every single week. It's the sad part of the show where we have to say goodbye. You guys are so awesome for having stuck with us, some of you for 14, 15 years. What is wrong with you? At what point did you say, I'm going to just keep listening to Guy and Gaz? And we're not complaining, but it does make us question some of your life choices. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Because
so
we'll
very,
never
very
question our own lives.
Yeah. Yeah. You think you got problems. We've been doing this show for 15 years. It is such an honor to come here and speak with you every single week. It greatly appreciated. Thank you so very, very much. And Gaz, I think that we were good enough this week. Yeah. And I think that we were smart enough. And even though he didn't put in an appearance,
no,
doggone it, Wilf, that amazing dog. People like us.
What do you call two monkeys that share an Amazon account?
Tell me.
Primates. End.
Oh, I was supposed to do something there, wasn't I? Okay, I just screwed everything up all over again. Not as bad as it was last week. If I can get to it. Where is it? Is this it? No, that's not it. Oh, that's awful.
Oh, I did say
Thanks
thank
for
you.
downloading and listening to the MyMac Podcast. You can also hear other great podcasts on the MyMac Podcasting Network, like the Tech Fan Podcast, Three Geeky Ladies, Geekiest Show Ever, the Let's Talk Podcast, Essential Apple Podcast, and the Club PlayStation and Club Nintendo Podcasts.
You can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on home and go home.